So moving on to section 2, how much membership rebate did I receive from HQ? Well, it was actually that much. And then last year, this is where we actually detail all donations in actual physical money, as in cheques, cash, bank transfers, anything that wasn't in kind. There were no donations in kind other than at fundraising events this year, and there was none last year. And on the Papira returns this year, that's what we actually sent back to HQ. That's used actually to calculate the narrative on the accounts. In our fundraising events, we gathered in that much this year. Now that was what we actually gathered. It wasn't profit. We'll come to the expenses on fundraising later on. And also there was £100 worth of gift in kind this year on fundraising events because somebody actually donated quite a substantial auction prize. We've got no miscellaneous income this year, but if we had done, we would write down in this box first of all what it was and then how much it was there. But as I say, in this particular set of accounts, we've got nothing. Then the next section is for transfers to and from other accounting units in the party. Well, this year we didn't actually have any. And the other one is for miscellaneous income or office services, so rental income, office services, etc. Well, we didn't this year, but last year there are some on the accounts, so I'll put those back in for last year. It's important that everything that's on last year's accounts appears in the comparative column. Then moving down to section 3, expenditure. Well, we haven't got an office, so there was no office rent or rates, heat, light, power, etc. But we did have an office stationery bill which includes Connect or ears. So the Electoral Commission, that's where they actually want to see it. So we had that much this year, and on last year's accounts there was that. Then how much did we spend on our website? Well, we spent the same each year. And how much did we spend campaigning outside of election time? Well, in 2015 there was very little that was actually not in an election time in the first half of the year, so we didn't actually spend anything. But in the previous year we did. So there's a figure there. And then how much was given to the agents? So this is how much was reported on the agents' returns. Well, it was quite substantial this year because of the general election, and less so last year. How much did we actually spend in fundraising? Again, this is in real cash terms. So we actually spent that this year and that last year. And it's reminding me here that we spent £100 on donations in kind. So it doesn't, because it's an in-kind donation, it doesn't let me forget it. It will actually put it on both sides of the accounts. Finally, there was a transfer to another accounting unit. So it was the South East region. And it was for the euros. It wasn't actually this year, it was last year. So it's on last year's accounts. There's no miscellaneous expenditure, but if they were, you would fill in the box what it was and how much. Section 4 is where we hit the totals in our bank accounts. So on the 31st of December 2015, this year, the bank account had that in it. And at the end of last year, and again this is pulled directly off of last year's accounts, there was that much. We had some bank interest in both years, and we didn't pay any bank charges. We didn't have any staff this year, so we just leave those completely blank, and there are no investments and tax. Now the branches, there was a change made a few years ago. We used to ask you to consolidate all of your income and expenditure on branches in, but the Electoral Commission don't actually want it that way now. They want the branch bank accounts to be included, so that figure that I used up here in section 4 does actually include the branch bank accounts. But down here, we separately itemise the branch income and expenditure. So again, all this is coming directly off of my working papers. Now we've got nothing on the balance sheet for property, and we've got nothing on the balance sheet for fixtures and fittings. But last year there was some computer equipment on the balance sheet, and we've bought some more this year. So this year we have actually purchased £750 worth of IT equipment. Now, bearing in mind that this does not appear in section 3, the expenditure section, because it's a balance sheet item. You can't have them in both places. So we spent £750 on computer equipment, and this year we will be depreciating all of the computer equipment by £500, and we depreciate over 3 years. Finally, it asked me some questions about last year in section 11. So on last year's accounts, we have a depreciation charge of £250. And in the fixed assets account, on the balance sheet, we have £500. Total reserves on the balance sheet. Now this is for the year ending 2013. This is the total reserves. It's also the brought forward figure for 2014. Was that? There are no loans, but if we had have done loans, we would have showed there in 2014 what was outstanding, what was taken out, what was paid back, and the same for 2015. Now there was some stock. In 2014, we had £95.26 of stock at the start of the year, and at the end of the year, we also had £95.26. You'll see down here that it's saying my stock allocation is wrong. That's because at the moment, at the end of 2015, I'm saying my stock is worth nothing. And in reality, it actually was worth nothing because we'd used it all. So down in 2015, I describe here how we used it. Well, we actually sold it to the election agent. So £95 worth and 26 pence has gone to the election agent. This makes everything balance and the warning flag goes away. Again, you can't send in a set of accounts that's got a warning flag like that, as they will be inaccurate. The debtors, creditors and prepayments section, this is where we have any brought forward items again from the balance sheet. So in 2014 there was £64.65 worth on the balance sheet. Now if we've got all of that correct from my working papers, because everything works out on my working papers, if I go to step number 2, the accuracy checker, everything should add up. Now you can see here that my 2015 account is correct, but 2014 I told it what I thought it was going to be, but it's actually 2 pence out, and that means that my balance sheet is 2 pence out as well. So something's wrong. It's alerting me to the fact that there is something wrong. So it's in 2014 and it's saying total income. So if we go back and just double check those figures, what it will be is there will be a missing number somewhere. If we just have a look through, what it actually is there is that mailing service is brought forward. That was actually 405.48. So I typed it in wrong there, but that goes to prove now everything has gone correct. My balance sheet is balancing. This goes to prove how valuable that accuracy checker is, because it just makes sure that everything is perfect. Now, with my balance sheets actually balancing, I can go to step number 3 and I can print out my accounts. That page can't be changed. There's nothing you can edit on it. The narrative and everything is all calculated and drawn up from the answers that you've given it. You simply go to print, and I'm going to print 3 copies because I want one for my region or my state if I was in Scotland or Wales. I want one for my own copy, and I want one to give to the compliance department at HQ. So that's how the template works. Thank you for watching the video. I hope it's been useful to you. If there are any problems, please don't hesitate to call us.